You can study in the morning, you can study at night. You can study outside by a campfire light. You can study with the rabbi.
Avadim hayinu lefaro b'mitzrayim ata b'nei chorin. We were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt, but now we're free. It's the central message of Pesach, of Passover. But what does it mean? What does it mean to be free? Does it mean we get to do whatever we want? We can eat whatever we want? Well, no, especially on Pesach. You can't eat whatever you want, despite the fact that the conservative movement just said you can eat kitniot, you can eat legumes. So what does it mean to be free? If it doesn't mean that we can choose to do whatever we want, how does a Jew express freedom? As it turns out, the way that we express our freedom is not by being all that free at all. We express our freedom by being in service to something else. But what's different and what's unique is that our service is a service that we choose. A Jew by choice. We are all Jews by choice. And being free as a Jew means that we choose. We have the opportunity to choose to serve God, to serve a set of morals and values that guide our lives, that make this world a better place. Freedom isn't about doing anything you want. It's about being able to choose to do the right thing, being able to choose to serve the master of your choosing. You know, right after the story of the Exodus from Egypt, we have a set of laws about how some Jews can have other Jews as slaves, as servants. There are a couple of different categories of why people would need to be servants of another Jew. And they are all in servitude for a certain number of time. Maybe it's a certain number of years. Maybe it's 6 years. They're freed in the 7th year. Maybe they work until the Jubilee year. But for those that are in servitude for 6 years, at the end of that time, they are given the opportunity to go free. But they're given a choice. Turns out being a servant to an Israelite master wasn't all that bad. And so they were given a choice. Would you like to stay? Would you like to stay with your wife, with your children that you've gained or that you brought with you into servitude? Do you want to stay with your master? And if you do, then the master takes an awl, puts your ear against a door, and pierces your ear. It's a sign of your eternal servitude. That's why I wear an earring. I consider myself an Eved Adonai, a servant of God. And this is my sign of my eternal servitude. I want to be in service. And my freedom, what allows me to serve God, is the fact that God took me out of Egypt, that God took me away from those other humans that think that they can control, that they can own people, that they can direct my life for me. But because I'm free, I have the opportunity to choose to be in service. I have the chance to choose to be in eternal servitude to God, to stand up for morals, for beliefs, for values that I believe God wants all people to stand up for. This year on Pesach, when you're sitting around your table, when you're celebrating that freedom, I challenge you to think about the ways in which you accept that freedom not to do whatever you want, but instead, how do you accept that freedom as a yoke, as a burden, as a responsibility, to choose to be in service to those values or morals or to God, whatever you call it? What does your freedom look like? How are you choosing to be of service?
We're talking Torah. Talking Torah.